Good morning. Welcome to Cozywombmama podcast, live from my bed. My name is Shan. I am the mama of the girls. This is Cozywombmama podcast, where I go ahead and give you everything you need to know parenting wise. This season, for season 16, I am focusing on dads who are trying to get back into their child's life, or period, trying to be more involved, right? This is episode 19. We are almost finished, but this is episode 19. You'll wish you had more time. Did you know that most dads in old age regret choosing work over spending time with their kids? A lot of dads don't get balance with their children through dictatorship and discipline, and they don't know how to be playful with their children. Their children grow up over time, and then one day it's too late and your grown son doesn't want to come around you anymore. Your grown daughter avoids you and seldomly ends up being into relationships with men like you, and then they fail because she's not going into those relationships understanding that, oh, I'm trying to fill a loophole and trying to fix the loophole I had with my dad, and every man I keep picking that I end up not liking. She needs to fix that with you first, and then she can go for a man who's fully whole for her. That boy that you only disciplined, that never really got to know you if you were around, and if you wasn't around, that's a bigger gap that they struggle to fill, is struggling to find out who he is, what a man is, what he should do, how he should show up as a dad. So don't be that dad that wish they had more time because your pride and your ego is winning. Let's talk about it. As you can see, as a parent today, whether you send your child to private school, charter school, or elementary school, you have to double teach. You got to send them to school, let them come home, listen to what they learned, and then tell them the truth, right? And if you're not doing that, are you 100% parenting the best way you can? No. Within that teaching, you also, as a father, need to teach your children everything they need for survival, everything they need in order to build their own personality. And you need to be teaching that child what you needed as a kid. Do curious things with your daughters. Ask questions about who they are, what they like, why they like it, what they're reading, what they're into, who's their favorite singer, who's their favorite artist, who's their favorite writer, what are their favorite books, what were your favorite books that you would like to share with your kid, what things did you like to do as a little boy that you would like your child to know, or what is something that your child does now that reminds you of yourself. All children want to do with their dads when they're young is connect. And if your child is in a preteen stage, how you're going to connect is based upon what they like. How you're going to relate is based upon what you share with that child. If your child is in like their teenage years and their personality is developed already, you're going to have to learn their lingo. You're going to have to learn what they do in their lifestyle and connect that with yours also. And if your child is in their 20s, you're going to have to be that advice person, that person that's blunt, honest with them, that person that they can go to the vent, and you're going to have to allow them to come to you. And you're also going to have to initiate some of that connection. And if you are not willing to do that, are you really trying to mend the fact that you lost time? Because you can't be mad later. You can't be mad later that you didn't put in the effort. You can't be mad later that you didn't show up. You can't be mad later that you didn't take full advantage of the opportunities that you had to connect with your kid. You can't be. It's not fair. So take your own advice. When you feel like you should have went, go. When you feel like you should show up, go. You can't not try and then later be mad at the world because you should have. So if you can go to that one dance or a few dances with your daughter, go. If you can chaperone a trip, go. I remember the trip since like 3rd grade that my mom chaperoned. I am 35. Go. Okay? If you could go to 1 or 2 school events, go. Children remember that and appreciate that for their lifetime. If you can show up at a few PTA meetings, go. Check those report cards. Check that work. Pop up at their school. Bring them lunch every once in a while. Not because it's their birthday, just because. Kids want to feel that you are on their mind and they want to see that. Kids want to connect. If you never took off to take care of a sick kid, and that's something their mom usually does, you know how much it would mean to your child to be that one time, or those few times, or know that, okay, if my mom is busy and I don't feel good, I can call my dad because I don't feel good. You know how many young boys think that they can only call their mom when they don't feel good? Or how many young girls, might have an accident at school, whether it's their cycle, and they feel like they're going to be embarrassed if their dad has to help. It shouldn't be that. There's so many ways for you to connect with your children that I think a lot of dads don't tap into. I had to get my book together because I am using my podcast journal. So, hold on. Supporting Cozy Womb Podcast is easy, just as quick as dropping a review on Apple Podcasts app or on Google or on Spotify, or going on to Good Pods, giving it a listen and giving it a share, or going through the Cozy Womb shop and purchasing any merch. And if you would like to just donate straight to the show, in every show description, there's a link where you can donate to Cozy Womb Podcast. I am a creator, I am a mom, and I am the sole person who brings income into my household every year, every month, every day. So any type of support for any information I'm giving or any insight I'm giving or anyone I'm helping, I appreciate it. Even if you share this with a dad that can really, really, really benefit off of the information that I'm giving you, that's what counts. And I appreciate you. And back to the show. My daddy tip is to be aware that just because your child is in the same house or the same apartment as you does not mean that you spent quality time with your kid. Quality time with your child is engaging with your kid, talking to your kid, playing with your kid, checking out what they're looking at, checking out what they're reading, sitting down and eating with them, talking with them, cooking with them, having activities with them, laughing with them. And you don't always have to go somewhere in order to do something with your kid. Or I know you picked them up. Like, what did you do with them? We spent time together. We talked. We did this together. And I'm going to bring him right back to you. Or, if that's the thing that you got to do. You don't have to always spend guap in order to feel like you did good parenting as a father with your kid. And I just wanted y'all to know that.
Here we go.
Back to the show. And wishing you had more time later is not going to give you more time. So stop putting off time with your kids. They want to know who you are. And you have to have the courage to share more with your children. Be happy in front of your kids. Be sad in front of your kids sometimes. Be angry in front of your kids sometimes. But don't take that out on your children. Stop worrying all the time. And if you show confidence in yourself, then your children will learn how to show confidence within themselves. Kids reciprocate what they see, what they hear, what they feel. So be true to yourself and be a good example in yourself and be around your children, be within arm's reach of your children. Time is way more expensive than money because a person could have all the money in the world and still not have enough time. Okay? So you as a dad, I don't want you to sit back in your 60s and in your 70s and you don't feel your best, you don't look your best, your house is empty, or your apartment, or your friend's room that you're staying in because you never established anything for yourself. Nobody calls you. Nobody comes to check on you. Nobody wants you to come visit because you didn't make enough time when your kids were younger. So they don't care about where you are. They just know that you're living somewhere. Don't be that dad. I understand that you can't be everywhere at the same time. So for the men out here that are single, that have multiple children, remember you cannot be in the same place at the same time. You cannot be here and be there at the same time. So you're going to sacrifice time with your children the older they get. Unless you live a lifestyle that will allow you to be here, be there, be here, be there, be here. Go here, come here, set this date, set that schedule, buy this flight, drive here, go here, make time, tell this person over here to wait, go over here, spend this time with this person, be able to leave at this time to get here. Like, if that's the lifestyle you want to be fully involved in your child's life, continue. But if you want to gain and have full relationships with your children, understand that takes time, effort, wisdom, understanding, and openness. That's what it's going to take. A lot of men have great relationships with 2 of their kids out of the 5. Or 1 kid and not the other kid. If the relationship was more balanced on all sides with your children, you would have a great relationship with all of them. Okay? So, I want you to go ahead and Google tips for spending time with kids. I want you to Google some ways that you can, tap into what your child's thinking, what they might go through, from like 8 to 12, what they might go through 13 to 15, and just tap into what's happening right now, what's affecting them right now, what they're into right now, and get up in their space. That's what I want you to do. So hopefully this episode helps somebody. It is Monday. It is the start of the week. We are basically in mid-July. That came quick. And I want you guys to be great. I will check back with you on Friday. Bye.
Bye.